Hey YouTube, so I wanted to do a video that I've been meaning to do for a really long time, and I'm finding it more useful now. I'm getting a lot more emails regarding Dr. Wilson. So I want to kind of have like an actual video that I can link them to that would be easier for me than constantly typing out the same things over and over and over again. And I'm going to try to do this with Carter hanging out. He's been fighting a really bad cold and he's doing this I want my mommy thing, so he's going to be joining me in my video today so I can actually get it filmed. Okay, so I received another message the other day regarding Dr. Wilson's pricing. As you know, Dr. Wilson was our vasectomy reversal doctor. Brian underwent a vasectomy reversal after 8 years. He had his original vasectomy December 20th, 2004. We had our reversal May 25th, 2012. Yeah, because my son is 9, so it was almost 8 years. And I get a lot of questions regarding his price. Dr. Wilson only charges $1,700 to do a vasectomy reversal. It's really cheap. I've seen some as high as $35,000, some as great as $10,000. I had seen I guess I shouldn't say my husband saw a local doctor and he told us that he wouldn't touch us unless we had $16,000. We had looked at tons of different options before we considered the reversal. We looked into IVF. I looked into which is the semen aspiration, where they actually go in and pull sperm from I don't think it's actually like the actual testicles, but you know, their testicle area. They go in and actually withdraw semen. And I was thinking, oh, we could just go in and do like a needle aspiration. They could suck it out. We'll do IUI. We'll be good to go. It doesn't work that way. When they go in and do a needle aspiration, they actually get immature and mature sperm. They don't get a huge amount. It's a very little amount. You need, like, I think 20 million is what they want. 20 million good swimming sperm before they'll do IUI. I know they'll do lower. I've seen them do lower. It just lowers your chances the less amount of sperm they use. So we can't, normally semen aspiration is done alongside of IVF. That's how they'll actually get your husband's sperm in order to do IVF to fertilize your eggs. They'll go in, and I think it's actually called like ICSI, where they go in and withdraw it, I think. Don't quote me, I'm not 100% on that. I didn't get too much into that because it wasn't actually an option for us. Our insurance didn't cover IVF because my husband had a reversal. I know a lot of times they will, but not when a sterilization procedure has taken place. So it kind of knocked us out for any fertility treatments at all unless we paid for it out of pocket, which was something we couldn't afford. So going back to Dr. Wilson, when I first started looking into vasectomy reversals, I had typed in like vasectomy reversal, and if I'm not mistaken, it was the first thing that popped up on Google, and it said cheap vasectomy reversals. And when I looked in the bottom, it said like $1,700. And my first initial reaction when I saw that was, I kind of need my husband's penis to work when I'm done. $1,700 for a reversal? There's no way. Like, there's just no way. I was envisioning my husband laying in a dark alley with a stick and a bottle of whiskey. And, you know, I'm like, I'm seeing MRSA and him losing his testicles from infection. And I'm like, yeah, that's off to the side. We're not doing that. So in my studies, I did come when I was Googling and looking for a solution, I came across a group on Baby Center. At that point in time, we were still looking at the local doctor. I hadn't met with him yet, and it wasn't until the local doctor came back and told us that he wanted $16,000 before he would even touch my husband that I realized that even our chances of having a reversal were slim, because we don't have, who has $16,000 just laying around? We don't. So I got on the group and I was all upset after we left, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Like, he wants $16,000. We don't have it. What are we going to do? Like, I guess I'm never going to have another baby. I should have thought about this before I let my husband get a vasectomy. And all the women were like, well, what about Dr. Wilson? What about Dr. Wilson? What about Dr. Wilson? So I typed in Dr. Wilson, Muskogee, Oklahoma, and what popped up but the cheap vasectomy reversal for $1,700 page. So I kind of feel like that was like our answer. that's who we were supposed to go with. And the scheduling, one of the things you have to understand, the reason why Dr. Wilson is so cheap is because he doesn't have an office staff. It's just him and his wife, but his wife doesn't really do anything, I don't think, because when we were there for our surgery, she was spreading mulch out front. So you have to, to schedule with him, you have to go online. It's a $500 deposit that you pay through PayPal. He has a calendar that is only opened up online every 90 days. So you can pay the $500, join a wait list, and when a spot opens up, if I'm not mistaken, the way it works is like 90 days from today will be shown, but at midnight tonight, that next day opens up. And then at midnight tomorrow, the next day will open up. But what happens is the wait list people filter in first. So I got lucky and somebody had canceled an appointment. I'll have to make a whole other video on that. And but you can sometimes snag a spot if there's one open. It'll be like highlighted if the spot's available. And if it works for you, then you can snag it, pay your $500. It doesn't usually happen that way. A lot of women do go on his wait list and wait. And then you're kind of at a lottery of when your actual surgery is going to be. So that's how you make an appointment with him. You don't actually talk to him. I think you can like click that he can call you. He is a little bit of an eccentric man, I think. He's not a lot of personality, not like this big woohoo, hey, let me hug you, make you all better kind of doctor. He's very straight to the point. Can't imagine him being any other way. When he looks at men's testicles all day long, every day but Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. He does 3 surgeries a day. And I can imagine he's just not very personable. So if you're looking for a doctor that's going to hug your husband and tell you everything's going to be okay, it's probably not the doctor you want to go to. So when we went to his actual surgical center, which was the first time we'd ever seen it, I relied off of a lot of what the women on Baby Center were telling me. So I would highly recommend, if you're considering a reversal, to go like the page, or not like it, but join Baby Center and get on there and ask however many questions you want. All the women on there are they're all in like crazy different parts of the journey. Like you have some women that are still considering it. Well, not them actually, but considering their husbands to get a reversal. This is a very woman-oriented thing. Like, the husbands just do what we ask, and the women take care of everything else. So, you do sometimes see men on there, not too often. Sometimes there's one of the actual VR doctors gets on there sometimes and answers questions too. But the women are all in different stages. Some have already had it. Some women are on there that have been trying for 3 and 4 years, because vasectomy reversals can still fail. There's women that have gone IVF. There's women that have gotten pregnant through IUI. There's women that have gotten pregnant through donor sperm if their reversals just don't work for them. So I'll link it down below. Go like them. It's called Trying to Conceive After Vasectomy Reversal. You'll find out a lot of information about Dr. Wilson on there as well. When the day that we had our surgery, when the surgery was all said and done, my husband got a little bit more emotional, and he had said to Dr. Wilson, thank you so much for everything you've done, like doing it at a cheap price. It really helped us. I need to do this quick because I'm starting to lose him. And he had said that he does it based off of his own, like the Lord told him how much to charge. Got the baby to sleep, so I can finish now. But when my husband had asked him, thanked him for doing what he does at a cheap rate, he had said that he does it because the Lord told him how much to charge. Like, if he had it his way, he would charge more than $1,700. But the Lord told him $1,700. He's obeying the Lord. He did start his practice based off of his own conviction from having a vasectomy. You can read his bio on his profile on his website. I'll link his website down below as well. So don't let the $1,700 price scare you. But I will say there are 2 different types of reversals that you can have done. You can have a VV, which is vasovasectomy, and then there's VE, which is vasoepididymis, and a VE is something that he doesn't do. So if there is damage to your husband's vas deferens, then VE is usually the way they have to go, but he doesn't give you that option. He just does strictly VV that's it. So there's a whole other like lingo aspect to this too. I don't know a whole lot about the VEs, only because we didn't have that done. I did read a little bit about it when I was in the group, and for us, we prayed a lot about it before we chose Dr. Wilson. I would have to do a completely separate video about our journey actually getting to Dr. Wilson, which I think I'll do because it's pretty interesting how the Lord led us to him. So we felt led to use Dr. Wilson. So we chose Dr. Wilson, and obviously it worked out for us. We did have a baby, but also go into, if I could offer any advice to anyone, it's when you make the decision to have a reversal, do not think that you're going to instantly get pregnant. It doesn't work that way. And when you're in the group on Baby Center, you're going to see it always doesn't have a happy ending. It's a very heartbreaking journey, especially like with us. It was more heartbreaking. Well, I don't want to say it was more, because I don't ever want to like put somebody else down or say their struggle wasn't as great as ours. But I mean, there's women who married men that had vasectomies with their first wives, and they don't have any children, and they can't get pregnant, and that kills me because they're not moms at all. I was already a mom, but I didn't feel like my journey of being a mom was complete, and I really wanted to have another baby, and that I had that longing. And so for us, it's just it's a very long journey. Now, you will see some women get pregnant the first time they have sex after the reversal. And then you're going to see women in the group that are 4 years and they've given up their journey. They don't ever think they're ever going to have another baby, but they're just still there offering advice to the newbies. And so I do suggest going to Baby Center to get a lot of your questions. Not only that, but you can find other doctors too that not just Dr. Wilson, depending on what you're looking for and what price range you're willing to go for. So I hope this kind of helped a little bit. Don't let the $1,700 scare you away from choosing him. It was a very sterile, very clean, very beautiful center. He is a Christian man. He'll pray with you before surgery. He's got Bibles sitting all over the place and literature you can take with you when you go into like that. He has a waiting room, and then he has like a pre-surgery room, and then he has the surgery room off to the side. I was present for the surgery. He did give me a prescription to have filled at a local pharmacy, which was right down the street from his office. So I actually went to the pharmacy, filled my husband's prescription, which was a pain medicine and an antibiotic. And when I came back, my husband was already back, like undressed on the table. Dr. Wilson called me back in. I sat. My husband's head was right here beside me, and his body for the surgery was behind me, so my back was turned. I brought a book, so I just sat next to him. Found myself singing to the songs on the radio that he was playing, because I listened to Christian music, so I knew a lot of the songs. And again, there's a whole other like song that played that was interesting to our journey. I'm gonna really have to film this video because it's a pretty beautiful story. But so I think hopefully I answered your questions. If not, just ask them down below and I'll get to them. Or go like the group on Baby Center. You can ask the questions there too. There's a lot of different people on there, so you'll get lots of different answers. So hopefully this helps and helping you choose what doctor to use.